Porter, Rachel Fox, not here yet, Barbara,
Yes, present.
and Ellen I know is away. Is that right? And Shireen.
Here.
Okay, and Mayor Pro Tem Cacciati is with us, Sheila as well, and of course, Angela. I have a little bit of a wild puppy in the background, so I'm sorry for any noise. I will try to mute myself as much as possible. Okay, public comment. We don't have anyone here. And then Senior Center, the budget and reopening dates, Angela or Sheila?
Hi, okay, I am going to share my screen and do a little bit of a presentation. So hold on one second, bear with me. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this is just a little bit of an update. And it's pretty, well, I guess it's around this time. I know Lily would bring the budget to you guys and give you guys a little bit of some updates. This is a little bit different as we're coming through a pandemic. So I just wanted to make sure that we're transparent, especially since last summer, we did make some significant changes to the budget. Okay. So the biggest update is staffing. As we all know, Miss Liliana Torres has started a new chapter in her life. And we are so excited for her. So right now, I just kind of want to point out a little bit of a transition that the senior center is going through. So some of the vacant positions is obviously Ms. Torres. And then the recreation leaders. We have one that's his last week for the senior center is this week. And again, he's going on. And so we have one of the 4 positions for the senior center open. So we are looking to fill 3 recreation leader positions. The other one is the introduction of a new part-time coordinator. And so we're looking to kind of hire and staff up the senior center. The positions that are currently filled is a management aide position, and that position was furloughed for COVID, and they will return June 7th. Additionally, we have one site manager, and just to be clear about the site manager, that's the person that runs our lunch program or meal program. So the site manager differs from the management aide and the recreation leader in that they're prepping the food will come and they prep everything to serve it when we serve on site. They work with our volunteers in the kitchen. And then it's just kind of like clean up, and then they prep our meals that we send out for delivery. So the site manager really is delegated to that area versus your management aide and recreation leaders can be interchangeable, doing front lobby stuff or helping the supervisor in the back. Are there any questions? Should I move on? Okay. Some highlights in the budget, aside from staffing, is that last year we made significant cuts and changes. Sorry, I don't have a wild puppy, but I'm back here with staff. I wish I had a wild puppy though. So the significant changes that we had brought to you back in, I believe it was July and August, when we were looking to revamp the budget due to COVID. We did cut a lot of like training expenses, special events and classes, of course, just due to the limitations, we weren't able to offer those. So we either diminished part of the budget or we just eliminated those expenses. And so staff is now proposing to bring those line items back as we're going to, in the next slide, look at opening the center, right? And so we'll need those line items so that like special events and all of those will come back per LA County guidelines. So obviously everything will be modified, but we're looking to roll out the senior center and start to open the doors again. So that's basically what I have for you now. Everything is pending approval, but those are the highlighted updated changes for the senior center. Are there any questions, comments?
Angela, is there like a limited, people that can go in? Do you know now, or what's the guideline?
Sorry, Shireen, I can't hear you.
For the opening, for the members to go back, is there like a limited, you know, people to go in? What's the county guidelines for that? Is it like half of what it used to be, or what?
Sorry. Sheila, I can't hear her.
Sure, if you want to stop sharing your screen.
Okay, sorry, one more time.
If you can stop sharing your screen.
There's something wrong with my. Okay.
I sent you a message. I don't know if you can get that.
Mhm. Well, just go on then until later. Maybe when she stops sharing, then I'll ask the question again.
I'm going to let you know that so LA County does not technically have a guideline for reopening senior centers as of yet. So what we are going to do is actually reopen per each activity or event we will be doing, such as if we offer a movie, we will look at the guidelines for a movie theater. And if they can be at a 5 or 10% capacity, whatever it might be,
I see.
we'll look at our main room and say we can have, X amount of people for our movie.
I
And we have
see.
to do a sign up for bridge. I'm going to use the card club guidelines. And so
Mhm.
have so many people within your card club, come. And so we're going to kind of work it that way. In classes, we will bring back classes. We'll probably start classes and all those kind of big activities, in July. Hopefully that by July, there's more openings. Even when June 15th comes, there's probably going to be a whole new set of guidelines just as
Yes.
they're ever evolving every week. I mean, they are changing every day as something new comes up. So we're really working on, since there's not a guideline for senior centers to reopen, we're looking at each aspect of what we do. If it's offering a class, if it's a movie, if it's, cards, even the Mahjong, we'll treat that as a card room. So you can have so many people in the room that play. One thing is every guideline requires you to be vaccinated. So we will ask our seniors to make sure that they are fully vaccinated when they come in.
Mhm.
Even like when I do my concerts in the park this summer, I have to have an area where people can sit who are fully vaccinated. And then I have an area where people can sit who are not fully vaccinated. It's so there's all kinds of strange guidelines. So we're just gonna kind of work it that way, but try and bring our seniors back in some kind of capacity. When we did the coffee and treats, maybe try and offer another one of those where we can use our patio, maybe spread other main room, just to kind of get them coming back. Even the computer lab, they can sign up for a time. And so we'll use 3 of our terminals, and we'll, for if you want to come in for 30 minutes, you'll sign up for a time, come in, use your computer type of thing. And hopefully they'll also transition over and maybe using the library a little bit as the library opens. So we'll kind of encourage both, but that's kind of what we're looking at. It's very fluid. It's changing all the time. So, one thing is DialARide is continuing, and our seniors are using DialARide a lot. Some days we're really busy, some days we're not, but it's, like they try and go out and get all their stuff done in one day. They try and make 3 or 4 trips instead of they used to spread it during the week. So they are coming back, they're getting out, they're excited to get out. So that's how we are going to run our guidelines. And staff at the senior center, Angela, Israel, they have really been trying to conquer this as much as they can to get that kind of feel back in the senior center, get people back in. But it's a difficult thing. So we are working on it day by day.
Great, thank you.
Are there any other questions or concerns? Comments?
We are working to fill Lily's position. So it's, a matter of, you put the applications out there and you get the applications back and do interviews. So, and also it was taken out of the budget. And so they can start July 1, the
person. And so hopefully they can be done, you know, people can be done with, they have to go through, you know, medical and a background and everything, and be ready to start on board July 1. And so that's what we're waiting for. And like Angela said, I put in for a part-time coordinator. I know in the past I have asked for full-time staff. Sometimes it's difficult to, you know, ask for those positions. Our PERS liability does increase every time we ask for another position. I think if we have a full-time supervisor and we have a part-time coordinator, that could really help that person out. So if they happen to be out of the office, there's somebody else that's in charge while they're not there. So, you know, it's a step, and we just have to kind of move from there, but it is contingency on the budget approval. And we're also hiring rec leaders. Applications closed last week. And so we'll probably start doing our meetings, you know, interviews soon to get them on board too, because they're a vital part of our, they'll have to set up, clean up, and then make sure everyone's out, clean everything up. So there's a lot more to do.
Great, thank you. And then Angela, did you want to give the DialARide update?
Yeah, okay, thank you. So for DialARide, like Sheila said, it's up and running. It's a little bit, it's been easy because there's less rules and regulations. We just are able to, not less rules and regulations, but they're more clear and set in stone. And so we've been able to implement those fast and quickly, which has allowed the seniors to get on the buses and use them more frequently. Expanding it out as things open has been pretty seamless, mostly due to the staff. DialARide staff's pretty amazing. There's little that I have to worry about. The other portion of DialARide is that, and I know I had come to you, I think it was a year or so ago, with the purchase of a new bus. And then I haven't come back since. So I'm happy to say that there was some, due to COVID, obviously there was some delay in that situation. And then they had closed our incentive, our state incentive, the HVIP. And so for DialARide, I'm happy and pleased to say that we can move forward with that. And so we're going to continue to add another electric bus to our fleet. And then with that, there'll be a disposal of a CNG bus. And I think that this bus, it'll be a bigger bus as well. And so that'll also help given these current COVID guidelines to space out the seniors. We aren't going to add in, I know I used to do special trips, the arts and cultures and all of that to get the seniors out. We used to go to the Huntington Library, the Norton Simon and all of those. I'm gonna wait, and we used to go to the mall as well. I'm gonna wait on that just a little bit, obviously. And just like Sheila said, July it should turn around and things are gonna open up. Right now, honestly, with DialARide, the biggest need is for is medical appointments. That is hands down the highest need that we see. And second to that would be like the grocery store and stuff like that. So we'll continue to work in expanding for the seniors so they can enjoy their other outings and their leisurely trips.
That's great, thank you.
Yeah.
I know you guys have been juggling and adjusting and constant state of change. So you guys have been doing a great job. And next, an update from Mayor Pro Tem Cacciatti.
Thank you, Ms. Chair. A couple items. First, you probably all have read, we're hiring a new city manager effective May 31st, 2021, assistant city manager from San Gabriel. Number two, thanks to Sheila, we're setting up a committee to again look at all the big leases in the city down in Arroyo, the golf course, the driving range. We first I proposed back in 2006 to look at that, and we did, and we put out the bid, and we got a really great person under Run It Donovan, but we're gonna look at it again because we think we can even do better. We've doubled or tripled our income, but we may be able to do better. So the committee will consist of myself, Commissioner Donovan, 2 Park and Rec commissioners, 2 finance commissioners, 2 NREC, Natural Resources and Environmental Commission. And I'm not sure, Sheila, have we appointed any of those commissioners yet? Do you know? The 2 from each one?
All but the NREC, they meet on the 25th of this month.
Okay, I'm on that. Make sure they put it on our agenda. Sometimes they forget.
Yeah, me and RB have been working on that.
Oh, thanks, good. Third, this is kind of a, as we get looking into budget, this is an infrastructure thing about our water system, although kind of a mundane subject, but very important. Just quick background, when I got into council in 2001, if any of you were here, the water system, nothing had been done for 40 years. Probably not a penny spent. They were busy fighting the freeway. So one of my first things, Sean took me to the Grand Reservoir. And if you do, that's just north of Trader Joe's, up Grand on a little side street. It had been out of service for 10 years. There was a eucalyptus tree through the roof. So immediately, Sean, I was kind of new. So the council put together a plan, jumped on board right away. So we, out of our 5 reservoirs we have in the city, 4 were in critical condition, ready to fall apart. One had fallen apart. The other 4, Garfield right here by me, was in 1927, it was tin roof. We had a reservoir in city of San Gabriel, Wilson, was bad shape. And the one we have water rights in San Marino, that was bad shape. Fast forward, we've completed 4 of those. Grand was completed 2005. We had to move over to Wilson because the roof there collapsed. We have a reservoir in the middle of a residential neighborhood just north of the San Marino Library. Somebody bought water rights there in the 1920s, which is great. We're almost done with the one, and if you ever go to San Marino down Huntington and make a left on El Molino, you'll see on your left, there's a beautiful reservoir there. We just almost finished. So 4 done, but the newest one, which was in the 1960s when I got back on the council in 2001, it's called the West Side Reservoir above the high school, a little over 1 million, almost 2 million gallons. There's a structural failure there possibly. So Councilmember Znaimer and I went up there last week with staff, Antenna and Shahid, and we stood on top, and the whole top is kind of, receding. So could be some big issues there. And that may be 3 or 4 years ago was a cost of $7 million. With cost of materials now it's over 10. So it's just like, it's funny when we looked at the water system to repair those reservoirs and a couple pump stations in 2001, it was going to be a $30 million program. It's now got, we've already spent like 40, 50 million. So the prices go up fast. So we're on top of those things. We're also working on I mentioned this before, and we're kind of making a little progress. Hopefully an ordinance we'll get, and I'd love to have your input on it because you're home a lot. I'm home a lot now lately because of COVID. I wasn't before. We have an ordinance, hopefully I'm bringing back to the council. It's with NREC now to ban gas powered leaf blowers. In the last 6 months, I've had so many complaints from residents near me, walking the dog, they're tired of those loud, polluting, just mind numbing gas powered leaf blowers, so we'd ban them. There's electric ones out there which sound like a vacuum cleaner. So hopefully NREC will move on that. They've been other issues. And if you want to make any comments later, let me know how you feel about that. Sheila had a great Park and Recs Commission meeting I sat in on the other night. It went long. I was just listening. But there's a couple of things you may be aware of in your neighborhoods. And Sheila's really been on top of this and her staff. Looking at 2 new parks. These are former Caltrans vacant lots on Berkshire, over by Charlie's Trio there, Alhambra Road, near there. And the other one's on Grevillea, just west of Fremont Avenue on Grevillea by the 110. So they're moving along and had some great plans. And they'll come, I think the commission is going to look at those. They had a lot of public comment, what items to put in there, features. If you want any input on that, I think the next Park and Rec Commission will decide what they exactly want. And 2 more things. Sheila may want to make a comment about this. It was interesting that they had the Parks and Rec were talking about their concerts in the park and movies. So Sheila, I think, and they've worked out something where they may be, if I heard it right, they may be moving over to Orange Grove and talking about, so she may want to mention that because if some of you like the concerts in the park and stuff, you may like that. And finally, I was just curious, Sheila, I know Rolando, a former commissioner, asked me about vaccinations. I've kind of brought it up. I don't know if we need to do any. It seems like all these places have vaccination appointments, but nobody's showing up. I don't know, have all our seniors been vaccinated? Have our staff? And I'm not sure even the percentage of residents. So that might be something as seniors return, they may want to know, is all the staff vaccinated or other seniors vaccinated? Thank you very much, Ms. Chair.
Thank you. That's great. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes. When is city council gonna open
We're
down
looking
at
at,
City Hall?
again, we're looking at tentatively probably June. I think a lot of city councils are there. I was speaking to the mayors of San Gabriel and Arcadia 2 nights ago at an event. And they're looking at the same thing. They're probably gonna have budget meetings with only themselves, not the residents, they've been telling me. So we're all looking sometime in June, hopefully, and even at the some of the regional agencies I sit on, they haven't been back yet, like the Gold Line Construction Authority. We still meet by Zoom every month. As a matter of fact, we have a meeting tomorrow at 11:30. I'll be meeting by Zoom. At the large agency I sit at, representing us in the 34 cities in the San Gabriel Valley, the South Coast Air Quality Management District, we have 900 employees. I keep getting an email from the mayor of Diamond Bar. It's in Diamond Bar, and they use our facilities because we're huge auditorium to meet. She's been, Mike, when are we going to open up? And we're just looking at, like Sheila, all federal, state, and local and county guidelines, and we've got to actually set up some type of temperature monitoring system because we have so many members of the public come in with 900 employees, and we have chemists, investigators going out to check, if there's an oil spill or something happens at one of the refineries or a warehouse, we've got to go out and inspect we don't get polluted and killed. So we might not open up till late July, even early August, because we're just trying to figure out. But it looks like a lot of cities are looking at June. A couple have opened up, but that's where we are right now. And again, everything's subject to a surge, like happened in India or happened here in January. So that's our best estimate from the city manager.
Okay, thank you. Staff liaison communications.
Yeah, I think I covered everything in my updates. I don't have anything further. I would add, Mayor Pro Tem, to some inquiries that you had regarding the vaccinations and stuff. Some of the guidelines, per Sheila was saying, is that it's kind of like a mixed bunch, and I've started kind of reviewing restaurant guidelines for like luncheons and stuff like that. Even going so far as like opening a workspace. And even the card rooms. Some of them ask, like you kind of do a temperature check for even seniors as they come in. So it is kind of extensive, the guidelines, they can change. But some of them, to Sheila's point, is like, okay, are people vaccinated? But then the step further is like, you still have to stay 6 feet, you still have to keep your mask on. And then you ask your patrons, do you have fevers, chills? Likewise, it's the same for staff. When we come in, when I was reading the LA County guidelines, each staff has to go through these protocols, which we've implemented already. But so there are levels, and there's still levels set up, safety levels set up for both patrons and staff. And we'll keep, like Sheila said, keep looking into them and just making sure that this goes smoothly and safely for everybody.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a question? Thank you. So this is, again, this just reminded me, the city of Diamond Bar, one of the requests they made of our facility, because it's so big, is that even when we do finally open up, they wanted an area set aside with our IT audiovisual that the residents can still call in by video and stuff like that. So I don't know what we're gonna do. What if somebody on the commission wants to, when we finally come back, what if somebody still wants to go, call in by Zoom? So that's one thing we're looking at Diamond Bar. I haven't brought this up with Sean. Maybe we're looking at that at the city. But what if one of the commissioners say, I just don't want to come back, I want to stay on Zoom? Are we gonna do kind of a combination, hybrid, or any thought about that?
No, there hasn't been any talk of that. It's just that kind of bring it back in person. And I know that that's what they're working on at City Hall for the council chambers, because that's where pretty much a lot of us meet, except for the senior commission does still meet at the senior center. So that's a good thought. No one's brought that up if somebody still wants to, be on via Zoom. So it might just be something on our agendas that we say we're in person here, or we're, via Zoom, but we'll have to discuss that. So yeah, that never even thought about that. I just figured, I think everyone figured once you say we're open in person, everybody, but there will be people who choose not to. So
Thanks.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's a great point.
Oh, that kind of, Ms. Chair, sorry to interrupt. So, how about us then, our senior commission? Are we going to continuing Zoom or meet at the site?
Once we're able to, like I said, our city manager is trying to figure out the date of when we will go to in person. When we talked last time as a group, it was my city manager and the department heads. We looked at starting our commission meetings in person in July. So it kind of gives council that time to maybe have a meeting in June and see how it goes live, in person before we as commission. Because, I'll tell you, I think your commission, my commission and Parks and Rec, we don't get a lot of public coming. But if you go to planning, they have so many people. So there's kind of a different, they have to plan a little bit different for those ones. So it's a ever changing thing, and we're hoping, July, if not July, then August. But I think with our commission, we can kind of isolate and kind of be in our own area, and then just if public comment comes in, it comes in. Angela, were you done with your comments? If I could add. Okay, just to answer some of the questions that Mayor Pro Tem brought up. Pocket Parks, yes, we had a great meeting, so we are trying to move forward with that. It will come to commission, my Parks and Rec commission in June, kind of for their last say, and then I'll take it to council for their kind of recommendation to move forward with construction documents. So it's finally moving along. We did talk about summer events. Mayor Pro Temp was correct. We are moving our concerts to Orange Grove for the time being, in case things change, but I have to have a secured gated area. Orange Grove is a perfect site for that, where you can control who comes in and out. You actually have to register to come to a concert or come to the movies in the park. So you'd have to pre-register. It wouldn't be a fee, but you would have to register your family. You would have to sit in a pod of 6 people that are either in your family or within that 3 household group. So there's a lot of guidelines. So we're just trying to see if maybe by June 15th, there's another set of guidelines. And then by July, our first concert, our first would be July 16th. Would be the first movie in the park, and then concerts would be on the weekend, on the Sundays. But just trying to figure out, if we go farther out, can we open up our guidelines? I mean, I have to put in chalk squares that are like 12 by 10 for you to sit in, and then you can't go out of your square unless you need to go to the restroom. So there's a lot of guidelines, but we are moving forward on trying to have something for the community to come out. We'll do 2 movies in the park. They're very kid-related movies. They're 2 Disney movies, and then we'll probably do 2 concerts. If things open up, we could add a third, just kind of trying to figure out, we furloughed all our part-time here, well, almost all our part-time here in the department. So I'm trying to bring them back. They're hopefully, they're letting us know who's coming back, and they'll be back on board by June 7th, so that I can have them retrained. There's COVID guideline trainings they have to go through, so that when summer comes, that we can hit the ground running. I'm also looking at opening camp again. Following the guidelines, it's minimal numbers. I think you can have a pod of 30 with 2 instructors now instead of 15. So it gives us numbers, but also I don't have the spacing here to, if it gets too hot in the summer, to put them all in one air conditioned room. Where before is, if I had 80 kids in our Camp Med area, kids are kids, they don't care. Now I have to have them, the 6 feet apart. And so it really limits our number as to how many I could have. But we will offer, and we'll open registration to residents first, for all the residents here who need childcare during the summer. We'll start residents, and then if we have openings that are not filling, we'll open it up to non-residents. Just so you kind of have an idea. And the other one would be vaccinations. Angela and Israel Senior Center, they're trying to talk to different organizations to see if they might want to, if they could come out to do any. But like Mayor Pro Tem said, there's people who are just not showing up to their appointments. There's many opportunities. The pharmacies are giving the shots. People are just not signing up. the senior center at the beginning received tons of calls, like, where can I get my vaccine? How do I sign up? But those calls have kind of stopped. I think our seniors really made that choice first on and got on and got those vaccinations. So we're not hearing calls going, I need it, I don't know where to go. But if we ever get those calls, we try and like guide them how to get that shot. Staff over there is very good, either getting them online, helping them do whatever they need to do online for them. So answer their questions. So, but we are looking at possible, if there's a possibility of doing that, we will do it at the senior center. And the other thing, at the senior center, we talked about that wall in between the two front offices. So currently that wall's down now. And so the wall came down. They are re-drywalling where the wall was to clean it up. The carpet has been pulled out of the room, the hallway, and soon the lobby. And we'll put in a new flooring that'll go through the lobby and the hallway and those rooms. And it'll all be painted. So when we do come to open, that's why I'm waiting until June to reopen, because they should be done and ready by June 7th to open. So when you walk in the senior center, it'll be freshly painted, new floor, and that room will be a brand new room. So it'll be nice too, because now we can have a class and spread it out instead of that small room and everybody was kind of cramped. We can offer our classes and use that whole bigger room for those classes. So hopefully, the next coming weeks, that'll be complete. The Seniors Citizens Foundation has paid for all of it, which is a huge, it's just huge. It's not a burden on our general fund. So it's been nice to have them come in and really be a part of it. And staff is being awesome on, getting things moved and kind of listening to a wall being torn down the first couple of days, but otherwise it's moving along. So when you guys come back, maybe we'll have to have a meeting in there so you can see the room, but it'll be a nice, freshly painted, no carpet, which is kind of nice. Just with COVID, it was just another cleaning thing for us to have to, oh no, we have to clean the carpet more often with COVID and things like that. So it'll be a nice, it'll look like wood, but it's not wood. And it's really durable. So I'm also just getting a quote for the main, our big room for the rest of the building, just so in the future we have that. I know that Lily really wanted to get that flooring done. So, but just that's all I have. I just wanted to make sure you were updated on that room too, so you're not too shocked when you walk in that front door. But it's gonna look great.
That's great. You guys have been really busy. Let's see, where are we? Okay, we need to approve the minutes. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve?
I so move to approve the minutes.
I second it.
Thank you. Okay, so we're close to wrapping up. Does anyone have any other questions or comments?
Can I ask about the meals? Are they going to continue taking out Meals on Wheels like once a week, or are we going to go back to every day? How is that going to go? By the way, I signed up for a week of meals, and I've eaten, and they're great for me. I loved them, and I haven't eaten all 5 or 7, however many I got, but I liked it, and certainly is cheap enough. So I won't continue, but I just wanted to try them. Pork chop was great. So I wouldn't fix it myself, and so it was fantastic. But I did wonder if we're going back to the volunteers delivering, or we're going to keep with the staff. Do we know?
Well, at this time, Barbara, we are working with the caterer. The caterer we have does extensive work through LA County and with the county on doing meals. And so we will probably not do an in-person meal until July 6th. And that is contingent on working with the caterer to say, okay, so many meals we need to do here. And then going back to that daily meal and then delivery with the volunteers at that time. But until, for right now, we'll stay the way we are until we really get from this caterer, like, okay, can we switch back, and how, I don't want it to end up more, because everybody right now is doing like this 1-day delivery of meals for the week, daily. So, don't want to overburden him on trying to cater us our food individually while he has bulk items for everybody else. But we are working on that with the caterer, and maybe for our June meeting, we'll have an update for you. But yes, working to get our volunteers back as well, to do the meals, because I know our seniors that do get our meals miss you guys and the conversations you guys had with them. Right now, it's kind of a drop off and run, and you guys spend a little time with them. So I think they'll look forward to that.
Thank you.
I bet they are very happy because they don't have to pay for it for a couple months. Yeah.
Yes.
Due to a donation. Yeah.
From our
Yeah.
COVID funding that we received, and that the council reallocated, that was a remainder of the rental assistance program. So it will pay for about a 3-month time of food for our seniors. So yeah, that's really great, and it's been extended past the June. So we were really worried we wouldn't spend it all. So now that it's being moved past our June 30th deadline, into the next fiscal year, it might go over into July a little bit more in August. So that was something nice for us, because we were really worried we wouldn't get it all spent.
Great. I can just tell you from my end too, with volunteer grocery shopping, it's really declined. So people are out there in full force, feeling vaccinated and safe. We have a couple of regulars that will just, continue on with probably forever, because a couple of them should not be going anywhere, frankly. So we're happy to do that. And I would like to also, in my next newsletter, I will mention about the center and, your slow reopening. If people have questions or need information, can they go online, or should they, what do you think is, I don't want to inundate you, but call or?
No, yeah, it doesn't. So what we try to do is understand that like they can call at any time, and the seniors aren't shy, so it's not a problem.
Yes.
It's easy and comfortable to kind of give that, that message via phone. But we also do a series of like outreach. So it'll go in newsletters to the home delivery seniors. It goes in our regular newsletters to those who are patrons of the senior center. And then it goes online. So we really try to touch all bases to make sure that we're transparent about that communication. So either way, however, Cindy, they feel comfortable, let them know that we're just going to start disseminating, and if they want to call the senior center, they can.
That's great. A lot of the people on my list are probably more the adult children, but I'm always trying to kind of point them towards resources, because so many of them, either they're not close by or they just don't know what's available. So, okay, I'll put that in there.
Cindy, do you get our newsletter that Angela sends out to maybe Angela, you can just when you guys email your newsletter out, email it to the commissioners so that they just have it in case they get a phone call. And then Cindy, you can take some information off that. Angela and her staff do a great job trying to compile as much information to get out to the seniors to keep them as updated as possible. So you guys get that via an email.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, we will move to adjourn unless anyone else has last comments. Okay.
Good seeing you guys all. Hopefully we'll see you in person soon.
I know, be great. Hang in there. You guys are really rocking it. It's amazing how flexible you've been, and I know you're working really hard. So thank you.
Our staff's doing an awesome job, and DialARide is just, I think our seniors would have been lost this, during this past year without them. So
Yes.
Kudos to them.
Yes,
Mhm.
thank you. Well, please pass that along from us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay,
Take care.
thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. Look at the dog.